Hey, good afternoon. As promised, I'm going to go over a couple things regarding your problem that you're having with right side. So we're going to work on some activation. We're going to also work on some ankle mobility, which has been a problem that I've noticed in the past as well. So I'm just going to go over a quick routine, explain how often you should do it, and then let's see where it goes from there. And so next time you come in, we'll bring any questions you have or email me beforehand. You don't have to do these in any particular order, and my suggestion would be to try to do like 4 of them a day if you can't get to all of them. And I would stick to trying to do 2 rounds of all of this. I guess let's just get started. So first thing I'd start with is 2 opening or mobility stretches. So first thing that I can get into is what's called a 90-90. So get back a little bit more. So what you want out of this stretch is you're going to have your right leg in front of you. You're going to switch onto the left. I recommend doing both sides with this one at least. With other things, we can get more nitpicky and just do one side. But with this one, I'd suggest doing both. You're going to do 3 rounds of this, 15-second holds, and you're going to see if you can get deeper with this. So to perform this stretch, you're going to bring one leg in front of you. Your chest should be deep in line with it. So sternum and kneecap are within line with each other. My leg is going to be bent at a 90-degree angle, and then the other leg is going to be perpendicular facing, and that's also going to be oriented at a 90-degree angle as best as I can. What I'm going to do is straighten my posture out, keep my spine neutral as I perform this, and I'm going to bend forward. Now I'm bending more through my hip than I am through my lower back. As you notice, my chest is still up and my head is still up, and I'm just going right through that hip, driving down towards the floor. Ultimately, the position you want, your hand will be in line with your knee that's in the front, and the opposite hand will be just outstretched for a little balance. So you're going to go down as far as you possibly can. 2 places you'll feel this, either an opening on the inside of the groin, either on both sides, or ultimately you'll feel a stretch through the back or the outside of the hip on this front leg. So once again, holding in this position, going down, 15-second hold, and you're going to perform this 3 repetitions. From there, I'd go into the other second of our stretches. It's going to be a downward dog position, and this is more of a march than it is a hold. So what you're going to do is get into the position, making sure your head is in line with your middle back. You're trying to form a V with your body. So as you notice, I'm pretty still and flexible. My knees are a little bent, and my heels aren't hitting the ground. And what I'm going to do is just try to do some gentle marching, try to bring my heels down towards the floor. And what I do is, once again, all of these are going to be trying to do 2 rounds. And in the 2 rounds of this, you're going to do about 10 to 15 reps on each leg. Feeling a nice opening in the back, posterior chain of the leg. You might feel it all the way up to your glute. Most people feel it in their calves. It's great for the ankle mobility. It's really good for hip mobility too. And it kind of allows you to disconnect the back from the hips, which is needed in most daily activity. So from there, we're going to just do some lunge forwards. You can use a cue for this if you want. You can do this either one of 2 ways. I'd have a preference for the right ankle for this. So I'll just show you with the right ankle. You can do it on both as well, but for time's sake, if you only have time to do the one, we're going to do that one affected leg, so we're going to do the right side. So what I would do, my preferred way is to keep a cue on my back. So a pole, like a PVC pipe, touching the back of my head and my lower back, making sure I'm maintaining that neutral spine. And as I do so, I'm bringing my right knee as far forward as I can while keeping my heel placed on the ground still. Also trying to, as best I can, I know I'm not doing the best example of this, but trying to keep my back as upright as possible as well when I'm doing this. So you might feel a few things here. An opening in the front of the back leg, or a little bit of an opening or compression in that front ankle. If you feel both, that's perfect. So in my case, I am feeling a little bit of both. So trying to drive that right knee as far forward as possible. Slow repetitions. I would do anywhere from 10 to 20 of these in the 2 rounds you have. From there, then let's go into a little bit of hamstring smashing. So what we're going to focus on with this, utilizing a ball, a lacrosse ball or tennis ball. If you're sadistic, you can use a golf ball. You can use a roll for this as well. But what we're going to do is focus on the lateral hamstring. So outside hammy, you're going to find that little tight IT band, roll a little bit behind it, and you're going to dig around while you're in the position, and I'll show you the position in a second. But you're going to look for tight spots. And so I have one right here, so I'm going to show you what I do for this. So in a sitting position, whether in a chair on the floor, chair actually works a little better because you can get more weight on it. You're going to try to find sore spots with the ball. So right about there for me. So I'm going to put a lot of weight down on it. So you can actually kind of lift your body up a little bit with your arms if that's comfortable, and just roll forward. Now the advantage of having a chair would be as follows, and I'll go grab a stool real quick. So if you just have the floor, you're just going to roll forward and try to bring your ankle up as you roll forward on the ball. So ankle down, and as I come up, my ankle goes up. Now, it's better to have a chair with this one, because what you can do with it is sit back into the chair, find that sore spot again, really sit down on it, and now it allows you to bend and extend through the hamstring after it was contracted, because when you sit, your hamstring contracts, and then you're going to slowly kick upwards. You can also change the rotation of your foot, so you can go up and in, up and out. Typically up and in is the way to go with the lateral hamstring, if you're really smashing that out. So once again, 2 rounds. You can do 10 to 15 slow, controlled repetitions. Okay, so that'll work on that lower chain. Now we're going to provide some challenges to create some more stability on that hip, which is going to in turn help the wobbliness you're having in the leg and prevent knee pain from occurring. So without further ado, let's get into these. So these aren't in any particular order, and like I said, if you can't get to all of them, try to at least do 2. And in fact, 2 of them might blast you out, might exhaust you. So see how you feel. If you're shaky or feeling a little strained when you do this, you might want to only go so far, because these might really gas out those lateral stabilizers very quickly. So first one I'll show you. And you want to find a comfortable weight. You don't necessarily need a kettlebell. They're a little more ideal because they have that downward weight, a little more challenging for the stability. So the first one I would do, once again, you don't need weight for this, but it's really going to help a lot. What I would do is a partial get up. So bringing a weight that you're comfortable with, having in a punched out position, working on only the right hip. You can do both, but for time purposes, you just want to work on the affected leg. So you put the weight up straight, your shoulders are going to be packed into place, and you're simply just going to try to extend that hip by pushing the hip off and providing a little bit of rotation, so you're getting that weight up a little bit off the floor. And if you've done a get up before, there's a lot more to it, but for the lateral hip stability, for our purposes, it's good to just start in that first beginning position. Slow controlled holds. You're only going to get that challenging little lift, that wobble right at the end with the weight with this. And that's all we really want. So 10 to 15 repetitions in 2 sets. To create a little more challenge, you can turn your foot out, create a little more push off, a little more rotation in the hip. And there we go. So after that, we'll go on to the next one. This one is really good for this as well. It's called a regression with the same side rotation. So once again, I'm going to get a cue. So I'm keeping my lower back non-involved and neutral. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to get into a kneeling position, and I'm going to try to bring my torso down to be parallel with the floor as best as possible. So here's a straight one, but we want to work on just one hip, one leg in general. So what we can do is create a little bit of a bias by driving our body towards that one side. So if I show you from the front view, kneeling position, and what I'm doing is I'm going to that affected or dysfunctional side. So I'm going to do a slight little bit of a right turn in and then come up. And what I'm doing is I'm really popping off this hip as I come back up into this kneeling position. So going down, popping up with that right hip, driving my body back up into a straight position, almost exclusively on this right hip. This is fantastic, especially if you're already gassed for the day, you've already done a workout, but you still want to do a little something to create more stability. 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 rounds. I think you've already gotten sick of me saying that. So from there, we'll go into just 2 one-sided challenges. You can use, once again, kettlebells, but once again, you could use dumbbells if that's all you have. So find a weight that you're comfortable with doing about 10 to 15 reps with. It should be challenging, but it shouldn't be like you're exhausting yourself. So the first one is going to be a suitcase deadlift. I'll show you from a front and a side view. And what you're going to do is, so the affected leg, the leg we want to work on, the side we want to work on is the right. So we're going to have the weight on the left side. And what we're going to do with this, head straight, chest straight. You're going to try to keep your knees in the same position, and you're going to hinge at the hip and come back upwards. Now, what I should be feeling with this, I'm really trying to exclusively create stability on this right side. I'm making it so my body's staying relatively in line, centered. If you're noticing you're getting more rotation, I'm exaggerating a lot, but what people often do is they get that arm a little forward, and that's a little too much rotation. So you really want to lock yourself in and go down, and then push off. So from a side view, back neutral, pushing up. Now you could do a little more challenging weight if appropriate. So find whatever weight it works good for you. The last one, you can perform in 2 ways. One's a little less challenging than the other. But once again, we're going to have the weight on the opposite side that we're working on. And we're just going to do some lunges. So I prefer reverse. You can go front if it works for you, but for what we're trying to achieve, doing reverse lunges is probably going to be more ideal. Weight on the left side. The right leg is going to stay forward because that's the leg we want to work on. And what we're going to do is just go back into a lunge position, keeping the weight at the side of our hip as best as possible. I'm really not doing so great at these lunges right now. It's a sticky pad. But as you can see, not letting that knee try to hit the ground. There we go. Now I'm warming up. So really feeling that push off with that right glute. Now, one that's a little more challenging will be to get a weight overhead. So a lockout overhead position, and doing the same thing. So right leg stays forward, left leg goes back nice and slow. Push off with that right glute. Whoop! I'm exhausted. So once again, right leg stays forward, push off with that right glute. Really trying to keep the body straight and stable as best as possible. Okay, that'll do it for now. If you have any questions, let me know.